Imagine right inside of Claude Code, I could easily type one sentence, deploy a Laravel app to Laravel Cloud, and have all of the resources provisioned for me. That's what we can do with Swamp. Let's see how it works. Let's see how we can take a Laravel application like this one here, Laravel Habits, which is a really basic application that I had Claude Code build purely for demonstration purposes. I want to take that. I want to use Swamp, which is deterministic automation for AI agents. It essentially allows you to take your AI agent and put it on Rails with a set of methods that it can use to do things like interact with APIs, and in this case, interact with the Laravel Cloud API through this extension. And we have things like sync apps, get app, create app, get environment, create environment. So all of these things that are wrapping the typical Laravel Cloud API endpoints and methods, and you can do that here with Claude. So it's less black boxy and one-shotty and more on Rails, repeatable, and things that will actually work every single time. So what I have is a empty Laravel Cloud account. I don't have any applications running at all. So we are going to have Claude Code provision and deploy our Laravel Habits application. But before we get to that, we need to do a little bit of setup because I'm going to assume that you don't have Swamp already running. It is installed. You can look at the install directions on swamp.club, but I need to have a place for my Swamp tooling. And I can have different projects of Swamp tooling by type, or I can have one catch-all project, but I need to have a place to put it. So I'm going to call mine the Cloud Toolbox. And then I will cd into this. And now I need to init a Swamp repo. And you can think about this like you would starting up a new Composer project or a NPM node project. You need to make sure you have a composer.json file or have a package.json file so that Composer or node knows that this is where I operate. It's kind of the same thing, but we're going to do Swamp repo init. And now we have our Swamp project. So as part of this, we can do all sorts of things. We have a Swamp command that can do lots of different things. But in our case, we want to get right to pulling a extension. So we'll do Swamp extension, and the extension we're going to use is my extension for Laravel Cloud. So Swamp extension, and I forgot the pull command. Pull, that's going to pull it down into this Swamp project and make that code available. All right, so let's look at all of this. And we can see that we have different TypeScript files here, but we'll scroll up. You can see the description for what it does. It allows you to create applications environments, runs artisan commands. You can query for usage, manage queues. Essentially, I think it's almost everything that you can do with the Laravel Cloud API. And you can see we have models here and workflows, reports for getting usage information, and then some license and README, a workflow template as YAML files, Laravel Cloud apps, Laravel Cloud queues. These are YAML files that guide Claude Code for how to use these things. But the real guide and the glue that kind of holds this together between Swamp and your Claude Code session is this skill file that Swamp adds, Laravel Cloud skill.md. And essentially, you want to review this and take a look at it, but it goes in and it essentially tells Claude what to do for certain things and how to use Swamp. So if I go into Claude skills, Laravel Cloud skill.md. We can take a look here, name, Laravel Cloud, description, and then operating CraftQuest Laravel Cloud. It just gives all the instructions on how this works. And you can have Claude Code update this. You can update your own depending on what you want to do. So full deploy pipeline in one call, swamp workflow run. And these are the swamp commands, which I can run on the terminal if I wanted to, but I don't. I want to do them in Claude Code, and that's why we're here. All right, so let's quit out of that. And now that we have our project up and running, the only other thing we need to do is store our secrets that we can use to authenticate with Laravel Cloud. And in Swamp, we do that with a vault. And we have to create a vault and then store secrets in it. So we'll do Swamp vault create, and it's going to be a local encryption vault. And we're going to call it Laravel Cloud Secrets. And then for adding a secret, I've already pasted this in so you can see it's swamp vault and then put the name of the vault and then the name of the secret, in our case, Laravel Cloud Token, and then the secret itself. I'm putting this one in quotes because it has a pipe in it and that breaks the command line. So that's why we have that. And don't worry, I will delete this token when we're done. And now I have put or stored this secret as Laravel Cloud Token in this vault. So the vaults are local only. They are not shared anywhere. And Claude Code and Swamp inside of Claude Code only references the vault and the secrets via, just like an environment variable, right? Via Laravel Cloud Token. So you're never passing those secrets into Claude Code itself. All right, with that done, I think we're ready to go into Claude Code and figure out how we can provision our services for our app. All right, so here's our app, and it's at CraftQuest Laravel Habits. And again, we're going to use the Laravel Cloud Swamp extension, so we'll have all of these methods available to us. And we'll keep an eye on this here. All right, so I'm going to say set up everything that the project CraftQuest/Laravel Habits needs on Laravel Cloud. So we'll say the app itself, MySQL database, wired to it. I don't think I have to tell it that. We'll say a Redis cache, see what it does with that. An object storage bucket, and a managed queue. All right, so let's see what happens when we do this. So what should happen is it looks at Laravel Cloud in the prompt and it says, oh, okay, I'm going to look at a skill I have called Laravel Cloud. And of course, in that skill, it says use Swamp, run these commands. And that's what makes this on Rails. So it's going to validate our work here. Models aren't installed yet. Let me check what they're. So it's going to swamp model search. It's going to search for the available models in the available extensions, because we could have more than one extension in this project. All right, you can see it's looking. All right, the extension is pulled, but the model instances aren't in models, copying them per the skills pre-flight. All three validate, and we're going to do some discovery. What already exists and what the platform offers. So syncing existing Laravel Cloud apps. It's basically pulling down to see what other apps we have. And of course, no apps exist. This is a greenfield org. I'm going to gather the information and see what it needs to do. And again, it's kind of doing its own thing. It's got this skill, but it also has the Swamp extension that really keeps it on Rails. So it doesn't have to go off and do things like write a wrapper for the Laravel Cloud API, because we already have that done. All right, so listing queue instances. See now the database cache and instance size catalogs. All right, we're going to see what is happening here, and we'll keep an eye on it and pop back when there's something new to look at. Okay, so it's now asking me some questions. It says it has everything it needs. These all bill real money, so let me confirm the sizing choices before creating everything. I appreciate that. Where should I locate my app? Which region? And I'll just say US East 2. That's the default region in the extension, but I can choose any of them. We'll just say that. What's the size for the MySQL cluster? So 10 gigabytes, 20 or 50. We're going to go small. We're going to tear this all down when we're done anyway. And for the val key cache and the managed queue, again, we'll go small. Which branch should the environment track and what should the environment be called? So we'll do main production and submit our answers. So Claude asked us for some guidance based on what it found from Laravel Cloud, which was able to connect to via Swamp. And while this is working, I'm curious if anybody has been experimenting with Swamp. Not that long ago, I put up a video saying more people should be using Swamp. Why aren't they? So I'm curious if you have experimented with Swamp. What do you think? I think it's a pretty cool technology. I also think that this is the way things are going to go with AI tooling. We're going to have more and more things that keep it on Rails. You're already seeing that built into things like Claude Code and Codex. But I mean, skill files are basically that, right? Keeping it on some Rails, but even stricter Rails, like a set of methods that wrap an API. All right, we have app created. We have environment is live here. Cluster is provisioning. Cache is created. Now the object storage bucket. Swamp model method run LC data create bucket. That method is already there for Claude Code to use. All right, bucket created. Now the managed queue. I don't know if I've actually created a managed queue before via Swamp. Queue created. And the last piece is wiring the database to the app, checking that the cluster is ready, finding the database schema to attach. And it's using Swamp model method. Oh, I missed it. It was basically looking up for the schemas. Swamp model method run LC apps attach database. So we can attach the database, attach confirmed, and now it's going to deploy. And it's going to run PHP artisan migrate force. It uncommented it because we have a database attached. This project has a SQLite database included, which technically you can run off of. By this project, I mean Laravel Habits. All right, all 6 resources are up. And it's looking to see if it needs to do anything else. Let's take a look. All right, so you can see here is Laravel Habits in production. We have our provisioned resources. This is our network. Any domains, we don't have any yet. App cluster, this is our Flex 5, half a gig with 1 vCPU. No auto scaling, scale to 0 is enabled. And our managed queue here and our database right here. So no deployments yet. Let's see if it's going to start deploying. Not yet. Should be the next thing. Has there been no deployments at all? All right, let's see. It's updating its memory from when I had previously run this. I had patched some holes in the functionality. So it's letting me know. It's telling on me that when I first tried to record this demo is that I realized that I had some things that were broken. All right, everything is created and verified. Here's what's on Laravel Cloud now. App from this repo, environment production, tracks on main, MySQL 8.4, val key, and the bucket, and a managed queue. And it's right here. And the deploy command, things you should know. Cache and bucket are created but not attached to the environment. The extension only has attach, detach methods for databases. There's no cache or bucket equipment. So there's a hole I need to fix in this extension. No problem. I'm glad it told me. The queue needs a deploy to activate. I stopped short of deploying. You asked for a setup, and the first deploy will run migrations against the new database. Say the word, and I'll run CraftQuest safe deploy. We'll say deploy it with safe deploy. So now we are triggering a deployment of our app, which if we go over here, we should see it. Let's reload. No deployments yet. What's going on? Let's see. Running the deploy. Let's see if it's actually going. There we go. Looks like it failed. Why did it fail? It failed probably because it's not running the migrations. Let's see. Your application has a managed queue, but is missing. Okay. Please install it using. So here we go. I asked for a managed queue, but I didn't need it. All right, I'm going to say remove the managed queue from this environment. Let's see. Let me confirm the queue is actually unpaused. All right, it's getting the full diagnostics, but I'm going to interrupt it because I want to actually get this deployed. And if I don't have the ability to delete, then I might have to do it manually. So 2 instances. Confirm deletion of managed queue instance. This is permanent. Yes. So anything that's destructive, it will typically ask for confirmation. So it's deleting the managed queue. And let's see if that disappears. Should. There it is. Now it's gone. All right. Now I should be able to deploy this without that being a problem. All right, so let's see, deleting managed queue. Looks like it's trying to verify that everything is good after it deleted it. Everything is good, I just checked. All right, one thing worth flagging is about how that went. My first delete instant call actually succeeded, but I piped its output through a filter that matched nothing, so it looked like it did nothing. I've seen this before, so I think there needs to be a little bit of hardening with this extension. But we still have this. So removing the queue clears the deploy blocker. So run deploy Laravel. So now I want to actually run my deployment. So if we go over, let's see if we got any deployments going yet. All right, not yet. So we're going to run this swamp workflow run craft quest deploy Laravel. It's giving the environment ID, so it knows what to deploy based on what's set in the settings. And there we go. Now we have it running from main. We can peek in here. Looks like it won't fail this time, hopefully. Go back to our environment. Scroll down, you can see that is deploying here. And it'll just sit and wait until that is done and let me know. Now, one thing I've noticed is because this is on Rails via Swamp, is we're also using way fewer tokens because we aren't allowing Claude Code to go off and invent different ways of doing things. We're telling it exactly how to do it. So deployment succeeded on this commit. And let's see if the site actually serves. We'll go here and look at our deployments. All right, that one was good to go. Look at my environment. This is my URL right here. There we go. We got our login for Laravel Habits. I can create a new account here now. And we'll give it a password. We'll just call it password and register. And that should log me into my Habits application. I have a database because it's all working. And we'll say tear down the Laravel Habits app. That's not really a habit, but maybe it is. It has been today. There we go. Okay, so we have our Habits app working. And we have it fully set up in Laravel Cloud, all from within Claude Code. So another thing I can do is ask Claude Code, how much is it costing to run Laravel Habits on Laravel Cloud? And it will use the reporting for usage endpoint via Swamp. You can see in just a second, it's going to look for that. There we go. Swamp model method run LC apps get usage. The input is the environment ID, and it's going to come back and tell me what my costs are or have been. And they'll be a little off because I've been doing different apps throughout the day. So it's going to have some cost for things that aren't really there. It's going to say, oh, you might have like 6 apps, but I have 6 apps in my billing history, but not necessarily running. All right, current spend across the accounts, 65 cents with $1.04 used of the 535 in credits. Databases, this is an older, different cluster. Those were deleted. Caches, buckets, and essentially all current spend is in the MySQL cluster. And these caveats in the numbers, this is account-wide, not this application. Only old applications that may have already been torn down would be included. And let's see, 7 applications all render unknown with $0.00. Those are old applications that have been torn down. All right, so I'm going to say tear down the app and all of the resources running it in Laravel Cloud. Now I just want to get rid of everything. I'm not going to use this. This is just for purposes of the video. And once I do that, we should start seeing things drop off and then an empty Laravel Cloud account. So full teardown, that's 5 gated deletes. Let me refresh state so every ID I use is real and check for bucket keys, which must go before the bucket. Okay, so it's going to sync everything here to get all of those IDs, because when it makes those delete requests, it's going to pass in the ID with it. And they should be gated, which means I should be asked what I want to delete. All right, we have everything mapped here. And now it's deleting the app cascades to the production environment, its deployments, and any domains. So here's my gate. Confirm permanent deletion of all 6 resources listed above. Yes, delete all 6. And I'm not doing a database snapshot, but that was an option. All right, deleting the bucket, key, and then the bucket. And it's verifying that the bucket is gone, and it'll do that for each of these resources. And then it'll go on to the next one, and the next one, bucket gone. Now we're deleting the production database schema, and then it'll move to the app server, and so forth. It says the schema can't be deleted while attached to an environment. Since the app is being deleted anyway, and that cascades the environment, I'll reorder app first, then schema, and cluster. So it kind of learned that as part of querying the API and saying, hey, delete this, and it probably got a response saying you have to, do this other thing first, or can't do it because of XYZ. App deleted. Now the schema should detach. Let's look at Laravel Cloud here. You see, I'm already getting a 404. So if I go back, you can see I have no applications. Let's look at my resources. I still have the DB. And that, you see, that just disappeared. Here's my caches. Object storage is done. So I'm waiting on that. Database is gone. All right, now the cluster and the cache. So there we go. The cache should be gone now. Go to resources, cache. Yep. Everything has been torn down, so I should have $0.00 of future charges, just going to be charged for the few minutes that it was spun up. All right, verifying the full teardown with fresh syncs is essentially going and getting syncing apps, syncing clusters, sync caches, sync buckets to make sure those are all empty. Teardown complete and verified. Let me check what's left billing. So it's looking for billable resources just to make sure I know. If you ever worked with something like AWS, you can leave just hanging services and resources that are very difficult to find, especially across availability zones. But this checked for me. So here we go. Deleted, 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 deleted. And this was removed earlier. The site now returns a 530 origin unreachable, confirming that the app is really down rather than just delisted. The deviation was the ordering that it realized. Let's see. Two things still cost money. Now there's money. Usage still reports current spend since 65. I think those are for the old databases, no problem. But we are ready to go. We have everything torn down. Go back here. There is nothing here. I have a fully empty account. So that's it. So that is how we use our extension from Swamp, Laravel Cloud, to use Claude Code to provision Laravel Cloud resources, attach a repository and an app, and get it all working. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the next video.